This Jeffrey Epstein list came out allegedly yesterday. What happened was Jeffrey Epstein was being sued in court before he died, and Ghislaine Maxwell, his co-defendant, I think they both were being sued. I'm not even sure, but there were some documents from this lawsuit that were waiting to be unsealed, and they were unsealed yesterday. Now, let me just backtrack to make sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, go to Netflix. There's a documentary on Netflix called Filthy Rich. It's a very, very in-depth discussion on Jeffrey Epstein and his wild accusations that were levied against him that he went to court for a couple times. And I don't know if he was found guilty the second time. I think he got off the first time. I'm not even sure, but I don't remember. But he was really accused of really like doing some foul stuff with underage women. And he was a very, very rich man. He owned private islands that he allegedly flew people to. I know Prince Andrew, even in the documentary, he was accused. Donald Trump allegedly had been rolling with him. But the thing about it was, apparently, and this is where the conspiracy theory comes in, apparently he was arrested for all these heinous crimes, a couple years ago. And he was found dead in his jail cell. And allegedly, the video cameras were like cut off that was to show his jail cell, and nobody knew about it, and he hung himself. And some people say he didn't hang himself because the conspiracy theory is that he was going to name names of all the people who were sleeping with these underage girls, at his private little getaways. He had a home in Florida, and he had a couple islands that he owned, and apparently he was going to out people. And there's several names that were allegedly involved. And I'm not going to name them, even though I think I did name a couple, but I don't want to start falsely accusing people of stuff. But for years, it's been said that, this person was on that list. This person been to the Epstein Island. That person been to the Epstein Island. Even yesterday, even Cat Williams said that Chris Tucker was on the list, that Chris Tucker been to the Epstein Island. And I think it's defamatory if you don't have any proof, For example, Aaron Rodgers, the football player, was on the Pat McAfee show the other day, and he said that Jimmy Kimmel was on the list and been to Epstein Island. Jimmy Kimmel immediately came out and fired back and said he was going to sue Aaron Rodgers if he ever said it again, and that was a lie. He said he'd never been to Epstein Island. He never been with Epstein, and that was a lie. He was furious, And I think it's reckless to be putting out names, but there's several names that's been out over the years. But anyway, yesterday the documents were unsealed, and they were talking about certain names. Donald Trump was a name on there. I forget the other names. I don't want to even say, but there's names, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit more as the days go by and more names come out. And again, the names doesn't mean that they're automatically guilty. The names just means that they were associated with Epstein, and in this court case, in these depositions, and in these testimonies, people were naming these names. You know what I'm saying? And even from what I read last night, some of the names, I think Donald Trump, for example, was mentioned. They didn't accuse Donald Trump of being with underage girls, But there was a quote. There was a quote in this lawsuit that said that the person alleged that Epstein said that Bill Clinton liked the young girls. He liked them young. That's what it said. And of course, Bill Clinton's history. Bill Clinton was caught doing sexual things in the Oval Office with a teenage Monica Lewinsky. I think Monica Lewinsky was 19 or 20 years old. So, it's just real ugly, man, with the Epstein thing. But, there's conspiracy theories and then there's truth. And I think it's very, very important to know the truth. And I think if people are doing disgusting things with underage girls, we should know about it. And we should find out about it, and we should not support them anymore. We shouldn't support their businesses. We shouldn't support their movies. We shouldn't support their political careers if they're guilty of doing things. Now, there's levels to it, though. Just because somebody might be named with Epstein doesn't mean that they were doing the same thing Epstein was doing. Now, it might not be a good look to be around a scumbag, but then again, a lot of times, let's say you go to work, right? You are friends with people at work. You have work friends, coworker friends. You don't know that they are a disgusting person outside of work. You don't know what the things they're doing. Epstein was a socialite. He was rich. And And I'm assuming that money wants to hang with money. So just because they were hanging with Epstein, they were hanging out with him, doesn't mean they were doing those things. So you got to be careful about that. But it's levels. Some people might not want to support these public figures, even if they're hanging out with Epstein. I didn't support you no more, even if you were around them. I don't know if I agree with that. But if it's shown that these people were with underage girls, if we can find some evidence that you believe that your favorite talk show host or your favorite athlete or your favorite actor, your favorite comedian, your favorite political figure was sleeping with underage girls, yeah, they should be canceled. And I don't even like the word canceled, you know what I'm saying? But I know personally, I will cancel from my personal life anybody who I feel was doing things with underage girls and teenage girls. I'm not into sex trafficking. I'm not into sexual abuse. I'm not into none of that, man. If we find out you're doing that, we need to put you under the jail at best, if not something worse, because women and children and seniors need to be protected at all costs. Heck, man, we all need to be protected at all costs. I'm not against any kind of hurt against anybody, man. But again, the Epstein thing, though, that got a lot of press. Whenever Epstein's name is in the news, it gets a lot of press, a lot of talk on social media. And again, we are addicted to the negative, man. But the positive out of that is, let's get to the truth. Let's find out. Let's look at, I'm looking forward to reading the whole set of documents just to see what they're talking about. And I can do my own research from there. It's important to do your own research about stuff and find out about stuff for yourself to develop your own opinions. Don't run with headlines, because just because somebody's name was named in these court hearings don't mean that they're guilty. But of course, the way the internet works, if anybody's name was mentioned, they was with underage girls, they've been to Epstein Island. And even hypothetically, just because you went to the island don't mean you were doing anything, you know what I'm saying? And don't mean you even knew about stuff, because a lot of this stuff happened years and years and years ago.